What up? What up? Good to be back. Even better, we got some XRP price movement. Kind of like we thought was going to happen. And let me just finish queuing everything up and we'll be good to go. All right, if you're getting here early, make sure to smash the like button. We will be rocking in just 1 second. Perfect. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Crypto Clay, good to see you. Chipper. Only here for the thumbnail, Crypto Clay. Yeah, I know you, man. My last purchase of XRP was exactly 1 year ago. Awesome. There you go. That's, yeah, long-term capital gains. If we still have capital gains, we'll see what ends up happening with capital gains in general. I think that's a pretty interesting thing that everyone needs to be paying attention to. A lot of efforts right now on the income tax side of the world. It looks like we'll probably get something having to do with capital gains as well. As you can see, we're kind of pulling away from this kind of scary $2 region, which is great. This is exactly what we wanted to see. $2 kind of seemed like it was acting as the floor, and then we had this big descending resistance coming in that was locking us down. But it seems like we cleared pretty much both of those things. And now we're just looking to pretty much find that next level. I think the next obvious place is kind of the 250 mark. To really mount that next leveling out before you would hope to see that next move higher. Is being in 0.5% enough? You know, it's impossible for me to say. I wish I knew. New Eleanor tweet about crypto legislation. All right, let me take a look at that. A couple interesting things happened over the weekend, one being the futures ETF and the other just being the futures in general. Both of those things are really interesting to see, those futures coming in, because that, in my opinion, all but confirms the spot ETFs are close. The spot ETFs are probably very close now. Roger, good to see you, man. The biggest thing we were waiting on is really some like institutional pricing data. And now that we have the CME pricing XRP, that was kind of that last step we needed to really make it so there's no excuses for the spot ETFs going live. So the ETFs we're seeing queued up right now are not the spot ETFs. So they're not actually holding the underlying XRP. They just track XRP's price. But it's a critical step in making sure that we do get those spot ETFs a lot sooner. Pretty much a lot of the regulators are saying, hey, we can't trust a lot of these exchanges, so we need to have a reputable source pricing XRP. Um, duh, 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 duh. Uphold confirm the ETF. Yeah, so there's definitely that ETF coming. It's just not a spot ETF, it's a futures ETF, which some people were disappointed by, but it's just the first step to get the spot ETF. You need that futures ETF live. Technically you don't need it, but it's pretty much what the SEC and these regulators are asking for, that futures ETF to come in first. So now that we have the futures ETF, the spot ETF would likely be next. Yep, Mary Cox, Rogers got you. And likely Ripple custody coming soon. Something else being worked on there. Crypto Clay, great to see you, man. Any other questions? Let's see. $3 to $4 today, Tracy. I certainly hope so. It looks like XRP is going through a little flag right now. Let's see if we can get a break up to the upside. Guys, make sure to smash the like button. It seems like a lot of people are coming in to celebrate the pump. Small one right now, but it's really a really important reversal we're watching. I'm not sure if you guys saw all the blackouts happening in Spain and Portugal. Pretty interesting. It kind of goes to a lot of the what the Riddlers have been saying for a while now. I don't think it has much to do with XRP at all, but you know, it's certainly gonna tweak a lot of the interests from that side of the group, and obviously we have XRP moving at the same time, so interesting to see that. See what else we got in the chat. Zebec Coin. I will check it out. This pump might be short-lived if we don't get tariff deals done. Yeah, I generally agree. I think the market really needs to see some of those tariff deals start coming in, but it's also important to realize that the market can stop caring about tariffs at any point. So that's something else we have to keep in the back of our mind. Very randomly, the market could stop caring about tariffs. Rondell, good to see you, man. I'm glad you enjoy those debates. I enjoy those debates as well. I think it really shows two different ways of thinking in the crypto side of the world. And I don't agree with a lot of the Bitcoiners and the way they think, but I still find talking with them and understanding their perspective pretty interesting. Cryptic, good to see you. The case will get finalized probably any week now. All it takes is one vote. I'm sure the SEC's got a lot going on, and you know, I'm not worried about that at all. I know a lot of people are like really wondering, hey, when is this finally going to end? It will. It's important to realize that the SEC's got a lot going on, and while cryptocurrency is obviously a huge priority for them, which is awesome, I'm sure a lot of people at the SEC already see the Ripple cases wrapped up, and they're probably just, you know, saying, all right, we'll get this vote in, but we have to get a couple other things done first. So I'm not worried about it at all. I know a lot of people are saying things are being delayed, but look, it really doesn't matter. The case will be over. Could the four Satoshis be Jed, Arthur, Schwartz, and someone else? I mean, technically, it could really be anyone, right? We don't know who the four Satoshis are, even if there even is four Satoshis. I've been pretty convinced that one of them is likely Jack from Stripe, or not from Stripe. Jack Dorsey. I think Jack Dorsey is heavily involved in the early days, but other than that, I don't know if I have too much conviction that anyone else really is. David Schwartz obviously is one person who definitely could be him, although David has also outright denied it, and I don't think David would really lie about it. I think David would just kind of dodge the question. So I'm pretty sure David has outright denied it. I know David was there in the very early days, but I don't know if he was one of the Satoshis. But it's really hard to tell, right? Like, Jack is one of the few people who haven't denied it. And Jack has a lot of very interesting ties to possibly being Satoshi. I can go through the entire kind of list of things that makes me think Jack Dorsey's Satoshi if people want to go through that. But he is one of the few people, and there's a couple other people like heavily involved, and it's hard to tell. Like, Satoshi is probably a single person, but he was surrounded by a group of people who all played a role in getting Bitcoin to where it is. So I think Satoshi represents a group of people, but one person was probably acting as Satoshi. Like, Hal Finney received the first Bitcoin transaction. Is he part of the Satoshi group? Did he know who Satoshi is? Probably. Was he acting as Satoshi? He's one of those people who have come out and denied it. So it depends. If you believe those people, that's one thing. But I think eventually we'll find out. I don't know if it'll ever be confirmed, though. Try asking AI about the Robbie Mitchell and Ripple connection. It straight up refuses to admit any connection to Ripple. Did Robbie Mitch want to make sure I'm spelling it right. Mitchnick work at Ripple. All right, let's see. I feel like Grok's not gonna. I feel like Grok's gonna get it. Yeah, Grok spits right out. Robbie Mitchnick worked at Ripple. He was involved in product development and co-authored a paper on XRP's valuation with Susan Athey. His tenure at Ripple is noted in multiple sources before joining BlackRock in 2019, where he now serves as the head of digital assets. So I'm not sure what AI you're using, but Grok spit the answer right out to me. I would have been pretty shocked if Grok didn't spit that out. A lot of the AIs are pretty bad nowadays. I feel like ChatGPT's actually gone backwards, but Grok is solid. I asked DeepSeek, it straight up refused. I don't know how good DeepSeek is. I mean, Grok, in my opinion, is by far the best. Why am I so loose with your words? What pump are you referring to? I'm referring to the 10-cent pump that's happened over the last 24 hours. XRP going from 221 to 235. Well, then you can DM me at 7 in the morning, and you can propose YouTube titles. Normally, I don't even set the YouTube title. I just do whatever was the title before and go live. But if you want to start sending every morning, if you want to start sending YouTube live stream titles over, happy to sift through those. But to be honest, I don't really care. But you seem to care a lot. So if it's something important to you, more than happy to take a look at some of your suggestions. But the vast majority of people, it doesn't seem like care as much as you do about it. I'm not sure if I have how to pronounce your name, but Cow, Kaw. You should start your own live streams, and then you can make the title whatever you want. Think about it that way. Then you can define whatever you want as a pump. Taylor, good to see you, man. No, I'm feeling pretty refreshed after Dallas. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. I know I put out the video last night breaking it down, but one of the coolest things I learned was that there's actually a lot of big companies switching to RippleNet using XRP for payments because it's actually so much more secure than a lot of the more traditional options out there. So I thought that was really cool. We hear a lot about the speed and efficiency of RippleNet using XRP for payments, but it's even crazier when you actually start to understand the security increase from using RippleNet. And it wasn't even specifically about XRP and Ripple. It was all about the importance of just better payment technology. So I thought that was really interesting to see the promotion of XRP. Caro, no, it's fine. I just expect a DM with some title proposals tomorrow. You can go through the live stream title creation, and I'll consider some of the live stream titles you put out there. It's clearly very important to you, so we want to make sure um you're not too upset with any of the titles. Some people are emotional about titles. That's okay. I just want to make sure you send over some suggestions so I can sift through them. STM Surge. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. XRP Bandit says I have to educate the Bitcoin maxis more on X. Well, I will. They haven't been talking as much about XRP, and one of the things I don't like doing is I really don't like just going into those rooms and forcing them to talk about XRP, because that's normally not the best conversation to have. For me, the better conversation is to me to have is like when they want to know about XRP, then talking about XRP. Moo Moo Bang Bang says, "What's a bit of clickbait amongst friends?" Um, no, it's no. I mean, most people get it. I know some people have a hard time with titles, but you know, not a lot of thought goes into them. When you're doing a live stream every single day, I mean, I don't spend my time thinking about titles, right? I try to focus on content. So, not a lot of time or effort goes into creating a title for a YouTube live stream. But if someone wants to be my official YouTube live stream title guy, more than happy to take suggestions. I normally don't even set it. I just copy and paste some random one that I've had before so I can get the live stream going sooner. I really like it. It makes your space on X really interesting. I feel like it helps everyone. Appreciate that, Dave Nelson. Appreciate that, Dave Nelson. You know, doing those X spaces is really fun, but a lot of people try to force it. Like a lot of people try to go into those spaces and just like push their own narrative, and it's not like that's not the way to do it in my opinion. Like the way to do it is for them to be curious and for me to be able to answer their questions. So I never like to be the guy who's just like going into the room and forcing people to talk about XRP. But when XRP is moving up and everyone has questions about why and suddenly everyone's interested, that's when I like to talk about XRP. So people are always like asking me like, hey, like, why don't you join this room? Why don't you start talking about XRP? It's like, you know, it's better when they invite me to the space and want to talk about it, because I don't like to be that guy to go take over a conversation, right? If they want to talk about Bitcoin, it's in their right to talk about Bitcoin. If I want to talk about XRP, then I'll go to an XRP space. But if the Bitcoiners want to talk about XRP, then I'll be there. So title it "Ain't Nothing to Do It." But to do it ain't nothing to it but to do it. All right, Kylan. I will consider that for a title. See, at least you come with title suggestions. Cow just wants to complain about the title. I haven't got a title suggestion for him. See? There we go, Kylan the Irish. At least I have a title suggestions from you. Not just moaning. I actually got some ideas coming in. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Crypto Clay. Let's see what else we got in the news right now. See if anything interesting's going on. IBM doing something that's not interesting. I did see a couple interesting headlines come in. Most of them around the ETF for now. Um, I guess I can share this real quick. Um, Here's a picture from the Dallas event we just did. So I guess I'll share this real quick just because I know a lot of people were interested. I'm sure a lot of videos will be coming in from this event, but wanted to share this quick. Here's a nice team picture we got from the Dallas event. So it was a ton of fun, a blast. Oh, Kylan, thank you so much for the gifted memberships, man. Really appreciate that. Guys, make sure to drop a thank you to Kylan for the member if you caught one. Charles caught one. I really hope Cow River doesn't catch one. Okay, good. Just imagine if Cow River got a gifted membership there. Buzzkill, man. Awesome. Thank you so much, Kylan. Yeah, no, great event. Super cool to get together with the rest of the team. Just wanted to share that quick. Love waking up to green candles. Yeah, no, it's a nice feeling. The great feeling waking up to some green candles. And I wonder how XRP, we must be getting a spike on XRP to Bitcoin right now. So let's take a look at that. Because I don't think Bitcoin was really moving this morning. Oh, oh, this is on the 30-minute. Oh, very interesting. XRP to Bitcoin almost looks exactly like the XRP to USD chart. So XRP to Bitcoin almost looks exactly like the XRP to USD chart. Looks like we've created some kind of floor here for XRP against Bitcoin. Have some green candles coming in this morning, but it looks almost exactly like the other chart, which is very cool to see. Oh man. Recently the spammers have been bad. Let me see if I can just ban some of these people from the channel. I don't know when this got so bad. It's like YouTube was doing so good with the spammers. Now like they're all back. Yeah, so XRP to Bitcoin looks pretty good. Obviously had a green candle this morning. Not really sure why we're seeing XRP move the way it is. It's kind of bucking the rest of the industry right now. My best guess is from the futures ETFs going live. The interesting thing about the futures ETFs is even though they're not trading the underlying XRP, they still create price discrepancies with XRP. So even though XRP is not being denominated, it still allows people to speculate on the appreciation of XRP and can put the price up. Vibe, no problem. No, the mods are doing incredible. It's just so annoying to see these spam attacks keep coming in because it's so hard for me to then um read the chat. I mean, I don't know why YouTube is so broken. It's like it's like impossible to keep up with. Appreciate the mods though. Frankie, thank you so much. It's good to be back. It's always bittersweet when I can't do the live streams, but the last couple haven't been too bad. At least there hasn't been like way too much going on in the cryptocurrency market. We did have those future ETFs going live, which I think are all but confirming that we're right around the corner from the spot ETF. And we've had XRP kind of in this range that we've been stuck in, but really moving far away from the $2 mark. I mean, this $2 mark is really what we had to start lifting off of, and we're getting that reversal coming in. So that's definitely the most important thing I wanted to see. I also really wanted to see XRP break this current downtrend, which we did. So now we've really got a lot of open space ahead of us. I think we're kind of pushing against that next level-ish right now. To get that real big reversal, we kind of want to get up to the 250 mark that I've talked about and kind of retest this before I think we can go higher. But XRP is doing everything it needs to do to really put in this reversal, which is great. Thank you. I know I love representing XRP in the Bitcoin rooms, and it's really nice to figure out how they think, because one of the things I've learned from talking about XRP in the Bitcoin rooms is that not a lot of them really understand Bitcoin, let alone understand XRP. You know, I go into these Bitcoin rooms and these people just don't understand XRP or Bitcoin. And I kind of sit there laughing. I'm like, look, you guys are so bullish on Bitcoin, but you don't really know anything about it. They're constantly talking about Bitcoin being used for all these transactions, and they just don't really seem to know much about how Bitcoin even works. I mean, if you put if every single person in the world was using Bitcoin, people would get 2 transactions over the course of their lifetime. Like, you just can't use Bitcoin for a lot of the things they want to use Bitcoin for. And it's kind of funny that they don't really understand this. Taylor says you can take our chat, but you can't take our freedom. Looks like it's calming down there. Appreciate the mods for handling that bot swarm right there. It's unfortunate that mods have to do it and not YouTube, but appreciate everyone for pushing through that. Will Howard, yeah, no, excited about Will. Charles, I'm seeing Dion is already trying to insert himself into the Browns, so I think we got pretty lucky avoiding Shador and going right for Will Howard. I'm pretty excited about Will Howard. They mock you, Mickle, but one day they will think to themselves, Mickle was right. Well, one day they'll be it will be really fun for me. It's always fun to come back and talk with those people when they miss something so obvious. So you're absolutely right, and that's the reason why I go into the rooms, and that's why it doesn't upset me when they poke fun at me. And you know, it's fun to be able to poke back. I remember at the end of the last Bitcoin debate I posted, they were all giving me crap, and I was like, well, let me know when you guys need me back to explain XRP or Bitcoin to you, because it doesn't seem like you guys really understand either. Browns have 5 QBs now. Yeah, they're loading up on QBs over there. It's nice to be able to watch the draft and get out of the do something a little bit outside of crypto for a bit. Make your own space, entitle it 5 reasons why XRP is better than Bitcoin. I can do that. I typically don't like hosting spaces, but I haven't done too many. Just because when you host a space, you kind of have to be super attentive to it. And normally when I do spaces, I'm normally doing like 10 to 15 other things. So I don't normally host the spaces myself. But it is a good idea. I think you would get a lot of interesting discussion, and that would force the XRP Bitcoin conversation. So maybe I will try to do that. I think that would be pretty fun, actually. I'll get a space going at some point. Zebec or Proton. You know, I don't really focus on a lot of those other crypto assets, to be honest. Really just focus on XRP. And a lot of the smaller stuff, I think, will have its time in the sun at some point. But to me, like right now is the time for me to focus on XRP. And maybe at some point in the future, there'll be something else I really want to focus on. but I don't focus on a lot of the other smaller cryptocurrencies right now. For me, it's just like XRP is in such an interesting position that until like that's not the best thing in the market and there's a better opportunity, I'm focusing on XRP. And for me, the killer use case for cryptocurrencies is for payments and liquidity. And a lot of these other projects are just focused on other things that might be interesting, but in my opinion, not as obvious as the financial use case. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them just don't really understand Bitcoin. Like, a lot of them just don't really understand Bitcoin. So it's really hard for them to argue against XRP when they don't even really understand how Bitcoin works. It's kind of one of the funniest things about going into those debates. Like, they don't even understand the asset they hold, let alone XRP. Lots of people talking about Zebec, so I'll take a look at it, what this is. I'm never going to be the first person to jump on any specific network. AI-based PayFi? Products. So they're like a payments company using their own blockchain to move money. Very interesting. Seems like just a smaller player, similar goal in terms of payments as Ripple had, but still I would have to do a lot more of a deep dive. When do you think Twitter and X will let us pay each other with XRP? I'm not sure. I know a lot of people expected Twitter payments to be coming a lot sooner. To be honest, it doesn't seem like there's been a lot of updates to X in general recently. I think they're just kind of letting it coast for a bit while they've had success. They live stream payroll. Okay, very interesting. Mickle is a legend schooling the entire crypto space. I appreciate that, Chuck. It doesn't seem like to me a lot of people in the crypto space really understand crypto. So I just like to educate people, especially the people who are very confident they understand how everything works and have like very big misunderstandings. If Bitcoin is wrapped or tokenized on the XRP ledger, will that fix the speed and energy cost problems? Yes, but as it stands right now, you're kind of then making Bitcoin, you're trusting a party to actually hold that Bitcoin, or you're trusting a protocol. So there is a risk in doing that. Like, the whole purpose of Bitcoin is really that you don't have to trust anyone. So then putting it on the XRP ledger, it does require some trust. Now, you can't move the Bitcoin, right? It does allow you to move Bitcoin faster and cheaper, but in the process, it sort of debates the entire reason you'd be holding the Bitcoin. In my eyes, like, what's really the purpose of making Bitcoin go fast? The whole point is a store of value at this point. Doesn't really look like anyone's using it for payments. So maybe at some point in the future that will change, but for me, it's just kind of like pointless. It's like, hey, we have this old classic car that everyone wants to just look at and invest in, and then let's try to figure out how we can make it go as fast as a Ferrari. Yeah, maybe it's interesting and someone might want to do a race and it might be cool and you might get some attention, but I don't really understand the point in using Bitcoin for some of that stuff. It just seems like Bitcoin's kind of cemented itself with a different use case. It's like, why would you force Bitcoin to go do something it's not meant to do? Am I gonna have a party when I hit 100,000 subscribers? We'll have a 100,000 subscriber kind of live stream, but no, I don't have anything specifically planned. Um, it's gonna be funny when I get to 100,000 because then like it's a big goal taken off. What's the next big goal? Like 1,000,000? I'm sure I'll get there one day. I never thought I'd be at 100,000 subscribers, but it's crazy to see how close I am to 100,000. 100,000. I mean, after that, it's sort of like, all right, time to do it again and get to 200,000. But that'll definitely be cool when I hit 100,000. But I don't have anything special planned for me. It's just something that happens along the road, and excited to be able to kind of check off that box. I used to be a big fan of YouTube myself. I'm still a big fan of watching YouTube. Learned so much great things from so many smart people who are smarter than me. And it's one of those things where it's like kind of surreal to be one of the people with 100,000 subscribers. So will I receive a plaque for 100,000 subscribers? I think I'm supposed to, but knowing YouTube, they'll probably like figure out some reason to not give me one. They'll be like, "Oh, well, we don't give it to cryptocurrency channels or something like that." YouTube University, absolutely, Taylor. Absolutely. So 3 XRP ETFs are going live on April 30th. Those are all futures-based ETFs. So 2 days away from some of those XRP ETFs going live. And I do think these will have an impact on price. I really do. A lot of people are looking at these ETFs saying, oh, they're not spot ETFs. They won't do anything. But here's the thing. If the futures ETFs bid XRP up to, let's say, a $3 XRP, just for simple conversation, well, then there's an arbitrage opportunity where people can sell the futures ETF and then go buy XRP spot. And that's one of those things that does increase the price. So it's not as efficient as just having a spot ETF, but I do think that it will impact the price of XRP, these future ETFs, even though they're not holding spot XRP. Need to get a new gold chain for 100K? Well, I can't replace this one because this one's for my girlfriend. So we'll be rocking with this one for a bit. And I got the XRP pendant on from 24 Hours Crypto. So huge shout out to him for getting that to me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything special planned. Maybe I'll do like a little celebration or something. But for me, it's back to work, you know? I don't like to get too high. I don't like to get too low. I like to stay pretty neutral. Pretty neutral through the entire thing. I think I'm always pretty optimistic and positive on the markets, but I don't like to get too into my own success. For me, this is more of a thing for all of us than anything else, these live streams. And it's really more of a group effort, and this entire channel is like kind of a group knowledge effort more than me or any one individual. So for me, it's always been kind of like everyone's success rather than just me. And I know it kind of goes to my channel and stuff, but the amount of useful information and help from the mods and people who come to this channel and share the information. Mickle isn't a Sanders. I mean, it's part of the reason why I didn't want Shador on the Steelers. Would have been cool to see him land, but pretty excited about Will Howard over there, and hopefully we have an answer at quarterback because we've been dying for one. Casper waking up. I don't know. Don't follow too much on Casper. Followed it a little bit back in the day. Follow H bar here and there. You know, there's always something I'm paying attention to. It's just for me like, what's the closest thing to mass adoption? And for me, that's XRP. Maybe that changes. Maybe H bar or something else can really make a push and be a runner up. But right now, it just seems to me like every single time there's a big announcement, whether it's an ETF, whether it's a payment company, whether or not it's a new institution, whether or not it's someone being bought, it all comes back to Ripple and XRP, in my opinion, for all the funniest stuff. 24 hours crypto is a funny. Yeah, no, 24 is great. Super nice guy. Funny story. He is actually he is quite a decent amount of merch, and he just sends me merch all the time. So oh, 150% on Casper. Wow. I wonder what's going on over there. Let me check that out. Like the entire market's getting a little bit of momentum behind it, which is great. Seems like XRP got moving a bit early, and now everything else is sort of catching up. Right after everyone freaked out for 2 months about a bear market, it seems like we're really kind of pulling out of those narratives, and everyone's getting bullish again. Yep, now looks like Casper's getting a little bit of a rebound. I know there's a lot of things with like the Hedera Foundation buying their foundation. Just haven't paid a ton of attention to it, but all right, guys. With that said, I think we've covered most of the news. Good to be back. We'll be live streaming all day. It looks like we'll have some interesting news coming out throughout the entire day. Wouldn't be surprised if we had the Ripple SEC close this week, actually. I'll put my prediction on the Ripple SEC case actually getting voted on and closing this week at some point. I'll throw it out there. I think that's probably what we see. Guys, thank you so much for coming. You guys are all incredible. Looks like we got some exciting price action ahead of us, and we'll see where tomorrow takes us. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you guys all soon. Have a great day. And for now,